Few things could change your life like breaking a world record can. Have you ever wanted to break a world record? Let me tell you a quick little story. When I was a kid, like itty bitty, my parents had like all the Guinness Book of World Record books. I'm sure you've seen around. And I was obsessed with them. I really loved them as a kid. And growing up, I had this dream of one day breaking a world record, right? I didn't know fucking what record I wanted to break. I just knew that I just wanted to like really be in the record books for something. You know, I had no idea. So this was kind of something that just went on while I was growing up. It was just in the background. I loved reading those little books. Then flash forward a couple of years, senior year in high school, right? By then, I was really into downhill skateboarding. That was like my passion. I was competing in it. I was sponsored. I was working at a skate shop, and I had already been 65 miles an hour on the skateboard. And then one day I'm sitting and I'm watching TV and I'm watching like Fantasy Factory or something like that with Rob Dyrdek, and they did this record where they were going to break the land speed record for a skateboard. And it was this guy standing behind the car, and he went like 80 miles an hour standing behind the skateboard. And I was like, holy fuck. I've been 65 miles an hour going down a hill. I could probably break this fucking record. Maybe this is the record that I could break. On top of that, there was about 4 weeks left of high school. So high school was done. So part of me also wanted to go out with a bang. So I was kind of like, all right, you know what? Now's the time. It's got to happen now. If I'm gonna do this, it's got to be now, right? So I called up the Guinness Book of World Records and I was like, hey, I want to break a record, right? I found this spot, right? So from my high school, right at the end of my high school, is like this three-way strip from the end of the toll road. It is the last 3 miles of a toll road until it ends, you know, and this is like this long strip. So it's first off right next to my high school, and there's not a lot of cars that drive on it. So I'm like, dude, I call up Guinness Book of Records. I'm like, yo, I got this highway. I'm thinking about shutting it down. You want to do the record books? And they never responded back to me. I called the highway. I was like, hey, can I shut down the pass? Can I like figure out a way to shut this down to like break the land speed record on a skateboard? And they didn't reply to me either. So I'm like, okay, you know what? The record books isn't calling me. Whatever. I don't need the record books for this. Let's just fucking grab my friend's truck. Let's just grab onto the back of his truck. Let's fucking break this thing, you know? That was the plan. So I called my buddy Jeff. We pull up on like a Sunday or something. It's like 4 o'clock. First I go home, right? I grab my dad's like leather jacket. Actually the day before it was a Friday, and it was a Saturday, and I walked down the highway with a mop because I wanted to sweep the rocks off the highway. I had to check it for rocks first off. So I had to walk down the 3 mile strip with a broom and like wait for cars to drive by, and then just like come out and just like shovel some of the rocks out of the way. And some of my kids, one of my friends in high school were like driving and saw me, and word started to get around like, what the fuck is Pete doing? He's like pushing rocks out on the freeway. This is kind of weird. Like, I'm gonna break a record. Everyone's like, I don't know if they believe me or not. Anyways, the next day comes, right? I go home, I get some knee pads on, I get my dad's leather jacket, I go to his closet, I got this black leather jacket on, I got some snowboard goggles on, I got a snowboard helmet, and they got these bushings in the skateboard that make him go really tight, and I literally took out the bushings and just put like a bunch of metal washers and like a little bitty thing of like bushings so I could barely turn, so there was like no speed wobbles. It was literally metal bushings. And I was like, all right, let's do a test. All right, we're gonna do a test. We're gonna try to break this record. And I hold on, back of my friend's car, we get on the fucking freeway, and we're like, do a small test. Let's go 65. You know, I've been 65 on a skateboard plenty of times. So I hold on to the back of my friend's car. And by the way, this is the only option we got. I know it's gay today, but this is the only option we had, so we just decided to do it. So I hold on to the back of my friend's car. And we end up going 65. And behind the car, it was a truck. I'm in this like wind tunnel, right? So I can't feel the wind at all. Like, it's not like when you stick your hand out of the window and you're going 100 miles an hour and you feel that fucking wind. I can't feel it at all. I'm in this like wind tunnel. So for me, it just feels like I'm just looking down at the board, just making sure my feet are focused, my ankles are tight, and that there's no speed wobbles. And we end up going, and I'm like, dude, that was fucking easy. Like, I got this. We could totally do this, right? So we end up doing another run, right? And I think on the second run, we went like 80 miles an hour to like tie the record or something like that on the second run. And I was like, all right, I really want to do, I really want to do 100 miles an hour. But back then, I was kind of like, you know, it is kind of gay because I'm holding on to the back of a car. the big vision and the dream was to let go of it 100 miles an hour and ride it out and be the first person to ride away a skateboard at 100 miles an hour. That was like the pinnacle of it. But I was like, you know what? Now's not the time. Let's just do this. A couple like cars went by, so we had to like wait a little bit. So it was like dark by the time we were about to do the round number 3, and I end up getting on the back of my fucking car, man. Back of this car, and I hold on, and we're just fucking mobbing. And I got my friends behind me in a car filming out the window with a camera, you know. And we ended up getting this on footage. By the way, this got 250,000 views on YouTube right now. We ended up shooting this thing and posting it. And I just fucking hold on to this thing, man, to the 3rd run, and we're just flying, and just I can hear the fucking wind, and then just boom, it gets done, I get out, and they're like, you fucking did it! Like, it was just fucking celebration, like, you got to run at 95 miles an hour! That was kind of the thing, and I was super pumped up, and we're like, oh, it was fucking, we did it, you know? And I had this feeling of like, fuck yeah, I fucking did this record, I got so and crash, it's amazing! And, I get back to the fucking school next day, and word fucking gets out, right? There's like 3 weeks left of this high school, and I was like literally the fucking king of the school. I remember like sitting on the fucking bus one day. It was towards the end of the high school, and the fucking cool kids on the back of the bus were like too cool for school. They're like, they heard about it, like, yeah, you went 95 on a skateboard? They're like, I call bullshit. And I was like, I'm so fucking good at calling bullshit now. It's fucking sweet. Anyways, so it was a crazy experience. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because ever since I broke that record, right? Ever since I went 95 miles an hour, life's never been the same. Ever, right? Now I got this belief in my head that, hey, I'm the guy who goes 95 miles an hour in Guitar Hero, whatever, or business, or like, this is me, this is who I am. So if you ever have that idea that you want to break a world record, few things can change your life in the future like breaking a world record can. Because I'm not kidding you, the rest of your life, you'll have this memory as an anchor to go back to and be like, dude, I fucking did this. I did this, you know? This whole talk came from today. My trainer, he just fucking pull-ups like crazy, and he's like really close to breaking the world record pull-ups. I'm like, dude, you should break the record, man. You break a record, this will change your life like nothing else. The rest of your life, you'll have this be able to go back to. Like, I'm the guy who breaks records. I'm the guy who ends up pulling this off and doing that, right? And that's just, it's an amazing thing that'll change your life. So if you've ever thought about breaking world records, nothing will change your life, the entire rest of your life, like breaking a record can. Final story, right? Because I told you my real dream was that I wanted to go 100 miles an hour and let go, right? Also being a skateboarder, I thought that was gay, that I was holding on the back of my friend's car. But it is what it is. So fast forward 2 years, we're like, let's fucking break this record again. We already got the tour road. This time I got a leather suit on, a professional leather suit. I got the helmet on, and I called my buddy. I was like, hey, I want to be the first guy to ride out 100 miles an hour on a skateboard. I want to do this, you know? So this was a bad idea, by the way, because I hadn't trained very much. Before, I was like practicing all the fucking time, but then I was like living in the woods, and I wasn't skateboarding a whole lot, and I was just pissed off one day, and I was like, I gotta fucking break this record. I gotta get this out of my brain, you know? So we go back down, I leather up, and this time we got a wakeboard rope, like super far out. Hey, like that's the car over here, like the wakeboard rope goes like all the way here, you know? And I'm holding on like this. So I'm in the wind tunnel, and I'm holding on like that. And we start going. You can see that video on YouTube now. It's got about 80,000 views, almost 100,000 views now on that video. But what do you know? When you don't practice very much and you're holding onto a wakeboard rope like this, you get kind of off balance a little bit. So I ended up eating shit. So even though the video doesn't look like I was going 80 miles an hour, but I ended up wobbling and flipping over on the third try, and he just fucking bam, like landing on my back and rolling out. I didn't break any bones because thank God I had this leather suit on. I just slid really far, really fast. It was actually an insane experience, by the way. The one thing I remember more than anything was just landing on my back, rolling over, pushing up off my hands because I got these plastic pucks on my hands that enabled me to slide. And I'm going like fucking 50 miles an hour on my hands, like, oh my God. That was fucking crazy. Anyway, so I know the video doesn't look like it because the camera is going from behind the car, but I think we go 80. I think I was going 80 miles an hour there. I think I got the record for the world's fastest crash. 2, unofficial. But that one did not change my life as much as the first one did. I think the first one was the most important one, so I had to bring that story in there. Do I want to go 100 miles an hour on a skateboard and let it go? A little bit, yeah. I kind of still want to have that dream. It's still in me. Yeah. World record books. It's worth getting in them. That's it. Beat out.